Hi guys, welcome to XtraTalk. Today with Sahbi, everybody knows Sahbi, a beautiful Ajax shirt by the way. And we have another special guest, Fabio. Your shirt is okay as well.
Okay.
welcome Fabio. Let me introduce you really quickly. Ajax fan from Italy.
Yes.
And you're one of the admins of a Facebook page, an Ajax fan Facebook page in Italian.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about, first, how does an Italian become an Ajax fan, in your case?
Yes.
And second of all, how did you come up with the idea to, was it your idea to start this Facebook page?
I will explain everything.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, basically, I'm a very, very big football watcher. So I mean it, guys. I really watch a lot of football, and since I love football this much, I always thought about following the teams that I thought they played the most beautiful football, in my opinion. And of course, since the beginning, Ajax is one of them. Because of its tradition, of its philosophy, of its mindset. But so I'm even if I'm a relatively young Ajax fan, but mostly because before the social media era, it was not so easy for us from Italy to follow the games, to follow the news and the market and so on. But then with the social media era, with the computers, with the YouTube and the streaming, of course, I could start following Ajax more frequently. And then, since I'm also, you may have noted that I'm also a very active commenter on the social media. I thought I could just look on Facebook if there was an Italian page. I found out there it was. And I started commenting their posts. After a while, I started commenting in 2018, 2019. And after a little bit, their admins reached out to me, asking me if I was interested in joining them. And of course, that made me very happy. So now I'm. It's more than 1 year that I'm one of the admins of Ajax Fan Club Italia, and basically that's all. The other guys are I'm proud to call them my friends, and we used to follow Ajax news throughout the whole week, from the Monday to the very game, commenting among each other, and then trying to post the most on our page. In Italian, of course, because we want to reach. Basically, we wanted to reach out to other Italians, but over the last month, we found out that a lot of foreigners follow us too. So that's very nice for an admin of the page.
Very good, very good. We will also, for the ones interested, for our viewers, we will put also your Facebook page on our description below. So people that want to follow it, they can always follow your page. Thank you for the introduction. Just one question before we start with today's topic. Because you told me that you started following Ajax a little bit more once the social media became a little bit more apparent.
Yes.
When was that? How many years ago? Just for us.
I mean, it was around the late 90s, for example. I was basically a kid in 1995, so I didn't start yet, but since then I started to follow more frequently, even though it wasn't so easy at the time.
Good. Welcome again, Fabio.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Okay, so guys, today not today, but this week, basically on Twitter, We Talk Ajax came up with coming every day with a poll. And this poll is basically a reflection of this season, in which we want everybody's opinion, all Ajax fans, all the ones that are following us, are watching us on YouTube, to voice their opinion on which players stood out in different topics, segments, basically. We will talk about the segments in a bit. I want to tell the viewers that they can also participate. We would like their opinion and their views, so they can drop a comment in the YouTube section below. And for the ones that have Twitter, please go to our Twitter account and also vote, because we already had 2 polls yesterday and today. We'll talk about them in a minute. And this will continue for this week. So we will have every day 1 poll, and the results will also be shown next week on Twitter. And maybe we'll also show it on the next Extra Talk. So stay tuned. So let's start. This season has been a good season for us. We won the double. And we can say the season is already over. We have 3 games still to play, of course. But it's a good moment, I think, to reflect back and talk about the players that stood out, you know? And this is basically what this Extra Talk is all about. So let's talk about the MVP award this season. If we would have to give an MVP award to one of the players of Ajax, which player would that be? Fabio, you can go first.
Yes. For me, the absolute MVP is Captain Tadić. Absolutely, no contest for me. Because even because even if his scoring tally is a little bit lower than it was last season, his skills, his mindset, his way to motivate also his teammates, his way to lead the charge from with his very foot, and also the fact that he's going to he gives us a lot of really good assists. He sets up a lot of goals for his teammates. That is, for me, is invaluable. It is I can't see another player like him in the Eredivisie, and even if in a lot of other European big clubs. So that's my choice. Absolutely.
All right, Sahbi.
For me, it's a bit different. I do like Tadić a lot, but the most valuable player for me is Lisandro Martinez. He's an incredible player. I mean, he didn't play the first months. We could easily see what type of football we played the first month. It was a bit difficult, but when he came in, when he started to play in defense after the winter break, that the speed, the strength, the determination, the poison, a real pit bull. I think because of the way the attackers of Ajax would play their game more comfortably, and I think that is really valuable for invisible powers, one of the invisible strength of Ajax, and that makes it for me the most valuable player, especially since he came in. We were on the field in the Eredivisie, playing great. Never had a bad grade. Always 7 or higher. Went in until the death. So that's why I choose him as the most valuable player.
So this time I will also voice my opinion about these topics, because I also think it's an interesting topic, you know. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. I don't think with the MVP award you can go and pick a lot of people for Ajax this season. I understand what Fabio is saying. I understand what you're saying as well, Sahbi. I have to give it, honestly, a little bit more. I'm leaning towards Fabio. For me, the biggest difference, because I was thinking also about maybe Martinez being an option. But the thing for me is, like you said, Martinez hasn't played the whole season. If Martinez was playing the whole season at the level that he has shown the last couple of months, basically, since he started, then for me, he would be probably number 1. But because he just started playing in the second half of the season, although it was on a phenomenal level, I'm not going to give the MVP, I'm not going to give the MVP award to a player that hasn't been playing all season. I think that for me is the biggest difference. So for me, it's Tadić clear, just like Fabio said. So again, let's see what our viewers think. Let them drop comments, and we'll see what they have to say also about it. Moving to the next one, going to the young talent of this season that stood out for you. Fabio.
I mean, for the young player of the season, I mean, for me, it's going to be Gravenberch. He's so young, yet still it's already so dominant in our midfield. We were a little bit concerned when Van de Beek went away, but he could step up to the occasion, and he still leads our midfield in a magnificent way. He also is finding his foot in front of the goal. He scored some really good crackers throughout the season. So considering his age, his young age, and the amount of games he's getting, of game time he's getting, for me it will be Gravenberch.
Yeah, for me, I can tell a large story, but I totally agree with Fabio. So,
all right, okay. Let me go then. I'm going the other way. I'm going with Timber. Let me explain why I'm going with Timber. This is a very hard one. It's really close, honestly, for me. But I will give it to Timber, and the reason why I'm giving it to Timber is Gravenberch. There are a couple of reasons. First of all, Gravenberch had, although he's younger than Timber, Gravenberch had already last season to adapt a little bit to the first team. Timber didn't have that luxury, let's say. So he has to come up this season and become a first team starter. And once he got the chance, because the first couple of months, as you know, Schuurs was the first pick on the central defense position. Once Timber came in, you saw a very huge difference in stability, in balance, and in defensive, the way he played compared to Schuurs. Now, let me put a little bit accents to what I'm saying, because I don't want to say that Schuurs is not a good defender. Schuurs was playing with Blind next to him, so it's a bit different. Timber got to play more with Martinez next to him. And Alvarez also got to play in front of the defense in the second half of the season, which also takes a lot for the defense. So Schuurs didn't have that luxury in the beginning. But apart from that, Timber had to make the switch, because at the beginning of the season, he was playing at, well, the young Ajax level. Then he came to play with Ajax level. And to be very honest, talking purely about him playing on the central defense position, he didn't have one bad game. You can argue that on the right back, when he was put there, because we had injuries, it wasn't always good, but he did, most of the games he did well. But looking purely at his right central defensive position, he didn't have one bad game. And for me, he really stood out in the Lille games, in the European games. And for somebody that just came from young Ajax and doing that and showing that, for me, that's huge. Not taking away anything from Gravenberch, because Gravenberch got 40 games or something this season. He played a lot of games. He has improved compared to last season. I totally agree with that. But Gravenberch was more less stable in his games. He had some bad games. He had some good games. Maybe because of fatigue. Maybe because it was his first full season. That's all possible. But for me, Timber really showed that he's really good in his first season, already making the transfer from young Ajax. And that's something you don't see very often with young players. So for me, that's why I choose Timber.
It was a very close pick between Timber and Gravenberch. It was just because I think in a few games Gravenberch stood out a little bit more, but just because of that. Timber also had a very nice season.
No, I mean, I agree with you that Timber is a great talent, but I still stand with the fact that Gravenberch is the bigger talent, because one, Timber was playing next to Martinez. I mean, that's very comfortable if you play next to Martinez with his speed. They both have speed, so it's quite easy for a central defender, especially when Ajax is playing attacking football. Gravenberch is a player who takes responsibility. It's way difficult to play in midfield and take responsibility and have control in midfield than in central defending. So that makes me choose Gravenberch over Timber. While I think Timber also is a great talent, I still stand with the fact that Gravenberch is the one for me.
All right, viewers know what to do. Let us know what you think. And we move on to the next one. The most improved player. I think we will basically this one. I don't think we will have discussion about this one, but the most improved player this season, Fabio.
Absolutely, Alvarez, El Machine. Because it's even more evident because he started not so well this season. After when he arrived, maybe someone thought we brought him in to replace the Ligt, and he was still he was trying to be used as a defender. And so he had a good start in the Champions League final, in the Champions League games, but then he started to struggle a little too much, also ending up on the bench a lot of times. But then probably because his family also was allowed back to reach him in Amsterdam, then he was a completely different player. He was dominant. He was a wall just in advance of our defense. He made some saves that they were sci-fi for me. They were it was very fantastic. It was really fantastic. So if I have to pick a player who improved the most over the time, it's really an easy choice. It's Alvarez for me.
Yeah, again, I totally agree with Fabio. I think we're on the same page on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't add anything more. So yeah, totally agree with him. Alvarez.
Yeah. Honestly, this one is pretty straightforward. Also for me, it's Alvarez all day long.
Yeah.
Fabio already mentioned the best reasons why. I also have nothing to add. If there is somebody, any viewer that has another opinion, please let us know. We're always interested to know your opinion. Let's move to the next one. The most underrated player of the Ajax at the moment, of the Ajax squad. Who would you pick?
For me, because at the beginning of the season, I have this thought. We started the season with Skurz in defense, and when he got injured, and we knew that Timber was going to step in, we were a little bit concerned because we were not sure that he could rise to the occasion. But he did in a very nice way, and as you mentioned, he was fantastic. He didn't have a single bad game, and he was a player basically no one counted on at the start of the season. So even if nowadays we all know his value, we all know he's very, very good, and we all know that probably Skurz is destined to the bench for quite a while. I think that the most underrated player for me is Timber, because as I said, I didn't count on him at the start of the season, and I was concerned when he started playing. But then he just shut up everyone with his performances, with his very nice games, even in great occasion in Europe, when we thought a player coming from the young could have struggled at such a different level, but he was always very, very good. So it's the biggest positive surprise of the season for me. It's Timber.
All right, Xavi.
Yeah, for me, it's probably a player that not a lot of people would choose. For me, it's Klaassen. They don't see how valuable it is for this team. He does a lot for his team. He brings in a lot of energy. He also some important goals. Always goes deep when it's necessary. Has always the touch, the nose for the goal, and for the timing to go deep. There are a lot of people, a lot of fans who thinks he doesn't have any added value, which I feel sad, because he's one of the main important players within the squad, especially in the way we play at this moment.
I will go with a different name. I would go with the most underrated player at the moment, because I'm looking at like recently. I will go with Haller. Sebastian Haller, and let me explain why. Haller is one of our big. I mean, it's the biggest signing ever for Ajax at the moment. And when you buy somebody that has that price tag around his neck, it's going to be. I mean, expectations are going to be high. That's first. Second of all, playing as a striker for Ajax, I mean, it's very demanding. Everybody knows that. You have to do so many things well. It's not enough to score goals. You have to be involved in the defense. You have to be involved in the attack. You have to be the link-up guy. You have to do a lot. People tend to forget that Haller at West Ham almost didn't play anything. He lacks rhythm. Second of all, coming in the middle of the season to play at a team is not an easy thing to do. And third, and probably also something that's being underestimated, I think, not being registered for Europa League also does something to him. Not to mention also what you said, Fabio, which was the case for Alvarez, also is applicable to Haller. He also had to live in a hotel for a few months and also without his family. Putting all these things together, I think we haven't seen the best of him yet. I think the best is yet to come, and I think it will happen next season. Of course, I'm not a storyteller. I don't know if it's going to happen, yes or no, but I do feel that he's at the moment underrated still, because I've seen also a lot of reactions, just like what you said, Sahbi, about Klaassen. I see it a lot about Haller, that people are really having doubts whether he's a good buy, yes or no. So I will go for Sebastian Haller on this one.
No, just want to state that we should not judge him yet before we see a full season, and especially if we see his international games, because that's basically why Ajax has bought him, for the international games. In the Eredivisie, we do not need him. We need him mainly for the European campaign. So let's wait until we see him during the international campaign.
Well, I just want to say one thing. Yes, I mean, if you buy somebody for 23 million, 22 and a half, he has to show it, of course, in European games as well. But I think also Ajax bought him because we were going into the January month, and you know how the schedule was this year, and we were about to play against AZ and PSV and Feyenoord all in 1 month. And at that time, Robbie and Traoré were also injured. I think Ajax was securing their position. They wanted to secure their position in the league, becoming first, securing Champions League. And I think that's also why they bought Haller. And Haller, let's be honest, although he hasn't played up to the standards that we want to, he has delivered assists and goals straight off the bat in January. So that's the only thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is the best signing of the season. So we had some signings in the summer. Yeah. And we also had Haller, which we just talked about in the winter. So if you put all these transfers together, which signing was the best signing for you, if you have to pick one?
Okay, even if Haller is, of course, our biggest signing, and not just in terms of money, I think that there is a player who has become even more more important, more key for the team. And he's a name that we didn't expect him to become so important for us, and it's Davy Klaassen for me, because we had to fill some big boots that were Van de Beek ones, and also he and Gravenberg together made us I'm not going to say forget Van de Beek, because Donny is always a great one, but he could step up to the occasion, even if he's not a young guy anymore. But he did very nicely what was one of the best qualities of Van de Beek, and that is making him find himself always at the right spot, reaching the opponent's box very frequently, and also scoring a lot of goals. And not just for that, because his work rate is exceptional, even considering his age, and he really brought us something different, or at least something Van de Beek gave us, but maybe in a different way. Maybe he's complementary to Gravenberch in this, and he was for me that's the best quality a new signing could give us. So it's Klaassen for me.
Clear. Sahbi, your take.
Yeah. So Klaassen, excellent buy indeed for this season. But for me, I got a new surprising name, and that is Stekelenburg. Reason why Stekelenburg is quite easy for me. I hesitated between Klaassen and Stekelenburg, but we all knew Klaassen. We knew what to expect from Klaassen, especially with the high price tag for which we bought him. We knew he could have an impact on this team. With Stekelenburg, we knew he would start as second striker. A lot about whether he would be whether he'd be second half of the season when Onana unfortunately could not play. He did superbly. He came in. He had some crucial saves. He saved us during the Eredivisie games against top clubs. He saved us a lot within the European League games, and he was for free. He as a free agent. So for me, too, it's that makes it for me the one that has the best transfer for Ajax. He was, and that's something that's very valuable for me.
Both of you, honestly, I was also thinking the same. I was really doubting between Klaassen and Stekelenburg. You can argue both ways, to be honest. I will go slightly give the edge to Klaassen, to be honest. I didn't expect Klaassen to, I mean, we knew what he was capable of, as Sahbi said, but he went to Everton, wasn't very good. He went to Werder Bremen. Even though he was playing in the Bundesliga, he was playing for relegation, let's be honest. And he wasn't playing anymore like he used to play at Ajax. He was much more playing a defensive role. And I had my doubts, you know, also for the price tag. I mean, look, when you get somebody on a free transfer, you don't have a lot of expectations, even though we didn't expect Maarten Stekelenburg that we need him that much during the season. But so that we never expected that. So I will give Sahbi that one. But Klaassen, I didn't expect for 12 million that he would deliver what he could deliver, especially Donny leaving, Ziyech leaving. I thought we were going a little bit backwards with Klaassen. But I have to be honest, although we got him in the first few months to play in a controlling role, he really flourished in the last few months in the number 10 role, as we knew how he played at Ajax. This is really his instinctive position, the position where he can put goals away even without playing well, you know. And there is a stat, he's been involved in nine times scoring the opening goal for Ajax. That's insane. And he hasn't played all season in the number 10 position. So for me, best signing of the season, although I didn't expect it, is Klaassen for me. So, all right, going to the last one. Again, viewers, let us know your opinion. The last one is the player who currently in our squad with the highest potential, the biggest potential in your views. Fabio, take it away.
Yes. Apart from the usual big names, I'll go for a player who was really unlucky in this season, and he could have given us a lot more if he wasn't injured a lot of time. And he's Momo Kudus. I think we haven't seen a lot of him yet. Actually, we have seen very few of him. And at the start of the season, you could see that his style of play, he was so unpreventable. The defenders couldn't foresee what he was going to do all the time. He was very good in the defensive way, and he also brought the ball, carried the ball forward a lot of times, and he could also score goal. So his technique is insane. I've seen him do a lot of let's say tricks, but you understand me. And I'm really sure that if he wasn't injured during the Liverpool game, I'm not so sure we wouldn't have gone out at the stage phase. So I hopefully next season we can get a full season of Kudus, and I think that's my choice.
Good, Sahbi.
Well, I hesitated indeed between Kudus and Gravenberch. But I stick at this moment with Gravenberch, especially because of the reasons which we already discussed in this talk. A lot of potential. He's still young at age. He has a lot of response. He's capable to dominate. So that makes me the player that has the most potential. But I mean, Kudus up, wow. But my feeling is that Ten Hag is not using him in his right position. He's putting him as a number 10 in a number 10 position, while I feel that he should play as a number 8. So I think we would see a lot more of him if he would play as an 8, meaning that that Ten Hag should change a bit in his formation, playing with 2 8s and 1 10. That's something that I really would like to see from Ten Hag. And if that happens, we might see something special from Kudus. But at this moment, I will go with a slight advantage for Gravenberch.
Well, for me to end this last one, I will go with Kudus, just like Fabio. And the reason for this being, I've rarely seen a player come from outside the academy and within the first game already give a spark to a team at such a young age. This is really a rarity. You don't see that happening. And Kudus showed that. He showed spark. His technique is insane, just like Fabio said. His speed is insane. You don't see that a lot with Ajax players. I mean, Timber is fast. Gravenberch, in my view, lacks a little bit of speed. He's not slow, but he's not fast either. What I like about Kudus is I mean, he has everything, basically. He can do everything. And the problem with him, unfortunately, is he's been set back by a serious injury, which he hasn't had before. He hasn't had that before. But I do think that this guy, if he really can get to his level and he can flourish at Ajax, he can end up at a very big club. Guys, I can feel it, man. I can. You want to subscribe.